So we come to our final talk, which is from David. David, we have David here. If the stars sing your science, why don't we? We sang a song earlier, a hymn, which was rather positive. Perhaps you could enlighten us some more. Welcome to you.
Your turn. La 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 la. Stars and planets sing your glory, God of might and God of love. Time and space proclaim your story, risen in the realms above. All the beauty of the cosmos, summoned by your great command, gathered shape while out of nothing, matter formed as you had planned. Power beyond its wonders streaming, forces weak and forces strong, melded in the cosmic streaming, when the universe was young. Out of chaos, spheres and orbits, found their form through ages long, and creation still unfolding in a great ongoing song. Stay standing. That old hymn, so I knew him from Trevor Thorne, talked on nature, but more than nature, went into the science. It went beyond what the psalmist could do, but in the same spirit as the psalmist. Let's go across to the life sciences. And here's Ali Barrett, chaplain from St. Catherine's, Cambridge, extending into some life sciences. The tune is My Song is Love Unknown, although you could use other tunes. La 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 la. Praise for the rulers of space, His endless silk and scale, in such a vast embrace all words and numbers fail. For what are we that mortal mind should seek and find infinity? Praise for the rules that show the patterning of time, creation's ebb and flow, expressed through reasons why. Can these great laws entail a formula for wondrous cause? Well done, well done, well done. Sit down now. And so it goes on into the life sciences, touching on DNA and into the chemistry behind DNA. It shows that science can be done in congregational song. If you take nothing away from this session, take away from David Wilkinson's anecdote of his biology student who was in tears with that song that they did. I think we're running a little bit short of time, so I'm going to skip this, which is possibly an illustration of how not to do it. Why is this an illustration of how not to do it? Because it's too much about us. It's all about us. God is 8 times in 5 lines, but it's all about us. We've put ourselves at the heart of worship, and it's now about us, all we have done, and us. And this is the one that David Wilkinson mentioned this morning. And in particular, evolving in pursuit of what you said, and that's E word, which is a trigger to so many people. Take nothing away from this. Well, take David Wilkinson's anecdote away. Here's another one. And this takes more into realms of scripture and into Job. The tune which you could use is la, 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 la. Okay, which is called Highwood. Lord, you don't need to sing it. Lord of all worlds, we worship and adore you. Creation sings a galaxy of praise. And the second verse takes us a bit deeper, and you can see how this is going to those chapters from Job, which Andre alluded to earlier. One of the problems with So Will I, that one that we looked at from David Wilkinson, although my heart wants to go with it, but it's impossible to do in a small church. If you're the pianist or the organist in a small church, you need a big band to worship, and a worship leader. You need all that stuff. But things like this show that we can do it if we've got the right understanding of how congregational worship and music and science can all pull together. This isn't new, by the way. So back in the 1960s, people like Alfred Bailey were writing this. And also alluding to, notice how the science in this is not explicitly in-your-face science, like God of Concrete, God of Steel was in your face. This is more by allusion. Now, you wouldn't write a song about mitochondrial DNA, and yet what's going on there? So it can be done. So I had a go at this about 12 years ago when I was sort of going through some of these things. And this is one I came up with, which has got my own tune to it, so I'm not going to expect you to sing it. And Andre raised exactly this point. Oh Lord, where were you when we laid the foundations of earth? Oh Lord, where were you? Oh Lord, where were we when you laid the foundations of earth? When morning stars harmonized song, when the oceans burst forth, when you played your dice, when you planned that through chance life evolved, in mere mortal span still your mysteries remain unresolved. Okay, so it's taking the Job passages, the morning star singing together. Those of you who know your Einstein will recognize the third line, this line here, God playing dice with the universe. It can be done. 2 years ago, Tom McLeish revealed a diagnosis of pancreatic cancer. And that hit many of us hard. My response as a hymn writer was to do this. And the tune is London Derriere, so everybody knows the tune London Derriere, Oh Danny Boy. We're short of time, so I won't ask you to sing it. I'll just give a view of how this first verse goes. You spoke your word, the heavens sprang to being. Your voice the backdrop through the universe. You fanned the flame of stellar fusion, knowing 10,000 million years would bring to birth this glorious world from ancient stardust founded, as stars newborn together sang with mirth, and aeons long coaxed formlessness to order. The light of God shone out and dawned across the earth. Cosmic microwave background. 10,000 million years, universe 14.5 billion years, Earth 4.5 billion years, a gap of 10,000 million years. Again, the science is there by illusion. The ordinary congregation don't need to know that detail about mitochondrial DNA, about the cosmic microwave background, even about that number. The congregation can get it, but the scientist can also say, oh yes. And this is what I would like to see us begin to try and do, to try and create some of these hymns, to try and find them, create them for our congregations. I could go on a bit more, but let's leave it at that, shall we?
Do you have one more song? You have 2 minutes, probably.
Oh, okay. I was running out of things. No, I haven't got another song. I just worried that we're running out of time. So, yeah, let's leave it at that.
We have a question.
Yeah.
Does anybody have a question? This is very interesting. It's a different way of displaying our science. Would you like to come to the microphone?
Where can we find an anthology of songs like that?
That is a major problem. A couple of years ago, you couldn't. A couple of years ago, I also got in contact with Ruth, just outside, and said, we need... Oh, sorry, she's here. Sorry. Hello, Ruth. Just outside. And said, we could really do with something like this. So she has put together, I gave her a few notes, but she's put together an anthology on the Faraday Institute site. And the idea is that we can gather what we know about, and if you've got any others, feed them into me or to Ruth, and we can try and collect them. The problem is it's not something you could publish because there's not the commercial basis for it. Unless if you are a publisher and you think you can do it, please do it. Let us know. But the Faraday Institute website is designed for this sort of thing. That's where you go.
Do we have another question? If you'd like to come here.
Hi, thank you. Enjoyed the lecture. Okay, so my question is where you mentioned about the evolution, and there are other sub-themes in science that can have some theological disagreements, like people that take the sixth-day creationism quite literally. How do we reconcile such differences in hymn worship?
That's a problem I faced when I was writing that. I'm a lifelong geologist, geophysicist, so I have no problem in accepting the full science. But of course, being an evangelical Christian, I'm fully aware that it is a problem. So when I was writing that, I was wanting to let scripture and science sit side by side, not forcing them together, but let them bounce off each other. So chaos and nothingness is actually a deep technical bit in the Hebrew of Genesis 1, verse 2. Tohu wabohu, chaos and nothingness. So it's really just allowing them to sit alongside each other. And yet you have got to raise the issue. But then if Hillsong can do it with their song, 100 billion creatures, they've in one sense cleared the way, helped to clear the way. If you hear them being interviewed, they're a little bit non-committal on that question because their constituency really has to face that. I know where I stand, but I'm trying to make it accessible so that those who are very, very strongly into creationism are going to back off this a little bit, but I'm not trying to antagonize them. But I'm trying to be as positive as I can towards the scientists to say, look, this is for you. It's a pastoral issue. This is all hugely a pastoral issue.
Well, I think we've had quite a variety of speakers here and quite a lot of food for thought. So I hope that we'll show our appreciation in a minute, but I also hope that you will take some of these thoughts with you and look up online or further those through in some way, and perhaps Gavin can put some links on in the future to encourage us to find out more, or perhaps where we can fit into some of these things or exercise our thinking and indeed our voices or music. So once again, thank you very much to all our speakers.